Welcome, dear viewers of Amaqhawe television. Here we are once again, this time around bringing what we believe is a very, very exciting program. A program that talks about one of our own. I'm not alone. I brought together with Amaqhawe someone we know, someone who has done so much for this part of the country or province. We've seen him in the 70s doing his thing, sport-wise. We've seen him in the past doing his thing, administratively speaking. We've seen him doing his stuff during his journalism. We've seen him also doing his part around activism. You will know about this if you did not in the very, very next few minutes. I'm yours, Lennox Class, welcoming Uba Uzola into tonight's program. Welcome, Uzola.
Good evening, Lennox. Pleasure is mine.
Thank you very much, Bauzola. Bauzola, ordinarily in this program, people always have a question. Who is invading our sitting rooms? who wants to talk to us? Who has the story for us?
Yes.
Story to share, story to... Normally we say to the guests, please say something that will let the viewers know that you are not here through the back door.
Oh, well.
You are here because you have a story to tell. But today we're going to do that differently. Dear viewers, on the 26th of June, we were so unfortunate in Gqeberha to lose one of our heroes, Utatu Themba Lutwabo. Today we're talking of non-racialism, not only in sport, Bauzola. Non-racialism is something that we eat, something that we drink, because if you do not embrace non-racialism in South Africa, basically, ungumkanja.
Yeah.
Ungumkanja. So this non-racialism, it's a concept that was introduced by people like you.
Yes.
In the 70s.
Yes.
We've seen people coming into our high-density areas, KwaZakhele, Ezwide, to play sport. Mixing with the Africans in our African townships. Abobaba, Watson brothers.
Yes.
Their fathers, they used to come here.
Yeah.
And thank you to you if South Africans have never thanked you enough. But on a very, very sad note, we had a send off of this very important hero of our nation, not Gqeberha, Uba Themba Lutwabo. From where we were sitting, we felt, man, there's something missing here. We could not put our finger on this. Now, Uba Uzola, dear viewers, is going to tell us what in his perspective believe was missing in that funeral, so that by doing so, you will get to understand the caliber of the guest we have tonight. Bauzola, please don't leave anything. Tell South Africans what was missing in that funeral.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. You know, history sometimes is told by different people at different times. And also the interpretation of history depends on the narrative. And also amongst people, the community, so to speak, or the nations, that history has got characters, personalities. And then when certain things happen, those things, when they happen, they are given a certain status. They are given certain honor. And whether that honor is to embrace what they've done, or that honor is to salute them for the good deeds they've done. Uthemba Lutwabo, Uthemba James Lutwabo, passed on. He was 81 years old, born in 1945. And then I was one of those lucky ones who captained him in rugby.
You were the captain.
I captained him in rugby.
And I believe as young as you were at that time.
Young as I was, I captained him. And with other greats during that period. You remember when you captain somebody in the 70s and 80s, and it was during the apartheid government those days. And we had a mantra then that says no normal sport in an abnormal society.
Oh,
under the banner of SACOS, Southern Council of Sport. And that banner, that mantra is the one that gave us more or less the impetus or the ammunition, to fight. We fought under that banner for the emancipation of our people. We didn't carry guns, but what we did on the rugby field is to create an environment of happiness, entertainment. We gave hope to the hopeless. We gave everyone an opportunity. We, as the people, like Themba Ludwaba, we express our stupendous talents on the rugby field so that the world and our people can see in truth and correct, we do have heroes and mentors. He was one of those mentors. I was very fortunate, that I played with him, not against him, because he was such a powerful force on the rugby field. He was huge, and he could do anything on the rugby field. He could kick a ball far, he could place kick, he could scrum, he could do everything the other side could do, even better. Now, fast forward. He got sick, and then he passed on. What I expected, I'm not talking about entitlement here.
Yes.
I'm not talking about entitlement. People perceive this as we are entitled, that we should be given the special provincial status when we die. It's an honor. It's honorable. When somebody has done something, if you have prudent leadership, they know their community, they value their community, they see that this guy, in truth and correct, he deserves such status.
How to celebrate Kwaru today if we are going to overlook the pathfinders, people who led into what we see and celebrate a Springbok? Everybody, when Springbok is playing its worst, if it wins, we become one nation. But how do you overlook the pathfinders?
I didn't cry at my father's funeral, but I cried at Themba Ludwaba's funeral because it pained me to discover or to see that his coffin was not draped in the iconic South African flag. Because when you look at my father was my mentor, he's still my mentor. Yes, it hurt me to lose him. But I look at I put a template, what Themba did for the nation without getting a penny more or a penny less on the rugby field, as part and parcel of a package to emancipate this country. I couldn't hold back to say, what is missing? Where are our leadership? Where are the decision makers?
Exactly.
Why are we doing this to us? Why are we, inflicting such, hurt in us? Why is Themba is not given this? If this can happen to Themba, there's no hope that anyone will get it. You see, at some stage, you get admonished as if we want to monopolize, special provincial funerals, as if we've done more than other people. The truth be told, we fought here. We sacrificed here. When it was not fashionable. When it was not fashionable. We were arrested. Right. You know, we risked our lives.
We'll talk about that.
We risked our lives. Now, Themba Lutwaba, if he wanted, he would have joined the Leopards.
Exactly.
Under Danny Craven. He would have been a hero on that side. But on principle, no normal sport in an abnormal society, he stayed on this side of the fence to wait for the freedom of his people. There he was. He couldn't answer, couldn't do anything for himself. It's people myself who are still left behind to say, why? Why are we doing this? It's such an injustice not to honor such a great hero, to give him more as the honors he deserves.
Baba Zola, let's just assume between us it was an oversight. It was a mistake. Let's assume it was not deliberate. You see, what is more even painful about this send-off of our hero coincided with the 71st anniversary of the adoption of Freedom Charter, where the vision of the future South Africa was adopted, non-racialism. Let's say it was an oversight. Here's an opportunity to say to those who are leading us, what can you do to undo what so many believe was injustice? What is it you think will be a befitting way to address that oversight during the send-off of our hero? What is it that the premier, what is it that the mayor, what is it that whoever is our leader can do to address that mistake? Because it was indeed a mistake.
What made things worse, as I was thinking, that there was not even a single individual from the municipality, which is at the lowest tier of governance, that came to Themba, you know, and family, and said, "No, we've heard. We'll do the necessary, you know, to make sure that at least
the family does not feel the loss."
Yes. And people will ask a question, was there no one who was working? The issue is not about you having resources. The issue is what is good for the goose is good for the gander. You need to be empathic. You go and show respect and your last respect to your hero and to the people who have put you in that office. You come, you yourself, move yourself, leave the chair, the desk where you are, you go to that home, look them in the eye, said, I've heard, you know. And then thereafter is elevated to other spheres of government. And we are being discouraged. I would say it with confidence. We are being, and sincerity, we are being discouraged to write to these spheres of government, to request, right up to the Premier's office. We are being discouraged to make such requests, as if you are the only ones who have fought. But the truth of the matter, when it was not fashionable, some of them were still at school, some were unborn those days, who were there in the forefront of the struggle to make sure that Makusa came out of KwaZakele Rugby Union. It became a trade union. And it was the first trade union that had a strike at Fort Motor Company over coupons, food coupons. It started the movement. And it was embedded in the struggle of Kwaru. Temba was at Ford Motor Company. He was there. He played for Kwaru. Most of the heroes were there. Tobile Mhlatlo, they came there. Tozamele Bota came there. He was the secretary of my club. So it shows the way politics intertwined.
So much synergy.
They were intertwined. They were intertwined. The synchronization of these leaders, that their movements and also their ideology was in sync with one objective. That our country needs to be liberated. Now you can't now deny Temba and say that no, it was part of. And then you don't even come. You go and celebrate the moment, or you go to somebody's funeral who doesn't mean anything to.
You see, Bawuzola,
it pained me.
It pained all of us, Bawuzola. And this is not to bash the government, the officials, but was saying perhaps this moment is competing with so many things that the government is doing. We understand, but there's time to correct this. There's time to correct this, and how do you do that? It's up to you. But one of the many ways is to invite media and tell the media what is it that you are going to do to honor people like Ubabu Temba. I mean, there's so many things that we can do. You see, this demise of Ubabu Temba coincided with another iconic person like him who excelled in the field of art, Ubawa Abdullah Brahim.
Yes.
Ubawu Abdullah Brahim. And Ubawu Thabo Mbeki, President Thabo Mbeki, accompanied this hero of our people with a very beautiful tribute. And I'm picking up from that the way he characterized his contribution. He says, I'm going to paraphrase, Ubawu Brahim, Abdullah Brand, was responsible to put a signature tune into the struggle of South Africa.
Absolutely.
He gave our struggle music
and meaning.
I can sit here and characterize Ubawu Temba and his contribution. What is it that he did? And you just invoke one mantra, one thing that used to unite you. No normal spot in an abnormal society. This is what he stood for. This is what we've achieved. That's why today Bafana Bafana is there participating in the world sporting field, FIFA World Cup. It's people like Ubawu Temba. Now, I don't want to belabor this issue. I want to believe they've heard, they've listened, and they better understood what the people want in respect to our hero. Yeah. He was our hero. I'm sure he was their hero too. Now, the second portion, people now can see who is Ubawu Zola. They can see that now without having to do that. Quickly, before we go to a break, I want us to talk about Umis Nomvume.
Yes.
Yes. You see, Ubawu Zola, it's taken 50 years for the people of Gqeberha to do the right thing. Maybe we will reflect later. Today, around June, wherever you are in the world, you are likely to see a piece about Hector Peterson, how his young life was indiscriminately butchered by the bullets of the apartheid South Africa. Very few people are aware, in this corner of the world, Port Elizabeth,
in August.
during that time, in August, A bullet of the same people found the dwelling in the young body of Nomvume Mnyasi. That bullet dislodged. And I want you to paint a picture shortly after the break. Where were you before that fateful day? Where were you during that incident? Where were you post that incident? People of South Africa want to know. Are you ready, Bawuzola?
Very much so, very much so.
Thank you very much.
Yes, there's a story that needs to be told.
Dear viewers, this is the point where we're going to say we want to pay the rent. Please don't change that channel. When we come back, we are going to talk about your sister, your child, your neighbor, whose life was cut short. Enkosi Bawuzola. Let's take a short break. We'll come back after a few seconds. I thank you. Thank you, dear viewers, for not changing that platform. Welcome to the second segment of our program. As we promised, we're going to bring you something that probably most of you do not possess facts around it. We do not take for granted your gift of time. We are so indebted to you by extending this opportunity that we join you in your sitting rooms. Disapete Ubawuzola. Shortly before our break, we spoke about Usisi no Mvume.
Yes.
Unomvume, you will hear more about her from Ubawuzola. The little I know about Unomvume, it is often said water is the source of life. This slogan was coined by Ubaba Ukada Ismail when he was leading this particular department. He said, water is life. Sadly so, it is exactly where Unomvume's life was cut short. Somewhere there, not very far from the tap. But Bawuzola is going to confirm this with us. Welcome to the second segment, Bawuzola.
Thank you, Lennox. Thank you.
Bawuzola, please, let's dive straight into the story. It's been 50 years. They call it Jubilee. When you mark or we celebrate an event that took place 50 years, let's say half a century. We have such an event here. 1976, not just a student activist, a woman, a young woman.
A girl child was killed. And you will say something about this. There's been very little coming from the formations led by women in this regard. Maybe there's a reason. Very, very little is said about this young girl. Obviously, if she was still alive now, she would be an old lady. I do not mean to disrespect her, but very little is said about her. But you have other people elsewhere where they parted, their soul parted ways with their bodies. There's a monument, a big monument in their honor. It's no longer waiting for June or to be celebrated. It's a heave of activity, not only by South Africans. People fly from all over the world to go and see where this took place. It's a lost opportunity. I want to believe for Gqeberha. Now, Bawuzola, tell us, where were you shortly before this, during this, and post this? Tell South Africans. Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to say to you and to the viewers, Nomvume's story is a painful omission from the media, political formations, community, everybody else. As if maybe an animal was shot dead, and discarded and all that stuff. Nobody speaks about that. And 50 years down the line, now we are opening the wounds. And then we're talking about her. 1976, I was doing Standard 10. I was in the class of 1976. It is at Cowan High School, under the leadership of the great man, Frank Tonjeni, the principal at Cowan. And that's where I was. And I was a prefect at that time at Cowan High School. And Nomvume was at Cowan High School also. She started at Newell High School and then subsequently migrated to Cowan High School.
Obviously following you.
Yeah, no, no.
Yeah,
no, she was my junior.
Yes.
Yeah, she went to Cowan High School, nil nisi optimum, nothing else but the best. She went to the best school. And then 1976, it was the start of television.
Yes, yes.
1970, when television was ushered into South Africa.
In fact, and I know Foster was resisting.
Yes.
Because he felt we cannot get these people to be exposed to what the rest of the world is doing.
June 16th, when the whole thing erupted, which is the shooting of people mercilessly and killed, and Hector Peterson, the Tsietsi Mashinini, everybody else scrambling. We saw it on television. Not all of us had television sets at our homes, you know, but we had the news spread like wildfire. And truth be told, the school continued. We went to school. And then the information came through. Why these kids in Soweto was striking?
This is still June.
That's June. We're talking about June. We are going towards August. And then the story came about. You remember when the news came, they filtered through quietly into the newsroom. Everybody knew, into the classrooms, and everybody understands. Then we got that year, 1976, was a year that was one of the, for us, you did maths and history and geography in English. We were told at the beginning of that year that we'll do all those things in Afrikaans.
Yes, please.
I still remember now, even in my head, we were told, I'm not good in Afrikaans. We were told to memorize what is soil erosion in Afrikaans. I still know it in Afrikaans, though I'm not eloquent in Afrikaans, but eloquently I can tell you what is soil erosion in Afrikaans. As the wegspoeling van grond deur water en wind.
Now you are speaking Greek.
You see?
You're speaking Greek now.
That's how we were told. It was a shock for us to change now. They were told a lot of things are going to be in Afrikaans, which means the language of the oppressor was being, kind of factored in to our curriculum. That's why June 16th erupted. Refusal of the youth of that day, to say, no, you can't. It's impossible. And things were happening, and then we still continued. It was school holidays, nothing happened on our side. But the information filtered through. When we opened in July, late July, we opened schools, there were murmurings that certain things were, there's something, we mustn't change. We must continue studying the way we used to. We know things in English and in Xhosa and all that stuff. Out of the blue, we learned that there were guys that were taken, arrested, KwaZakele High School. the Amaqhawe, you know, the Kokomdas, and most of them, Saki Maqozoma and all that stuff. They were in prison, and then they were taken to Robben Island, some of these young guys. That's when the cookie crumbled. The information now spread like wildflower that we need to resist what is happening. Whilst this was happening, and then we started mobilizing that we need to make the schools ungovernable. Whilst we were dealing with that, remember June 16th, when it was happening, there were incidents where people started looting.
Yes, yes.
You know, where I stayed, there was a bottle store.
Yes, those were the first
The bottle store.
places to be invaded.
Yes, there was a bottle store.
Yes.
People were holding, you know, whiskey and all that stuff. And there was, at the back of the bottle store, there was a shed, you know, a tool shed, municipality tool shed.
I remember.
Everybody had a wheelbarrow and a spade and everything else. They cleaned that thing up. Behind that, there were cafes, sort of these small spaza shops next to the Mandy bottle store. Some of them were looted. They didn't belong to white people, but it was just an upheaval that was taking place in South Africa. And then, August, it was August 18th, school came out, and we were moving. My home, which is 32 Funde, New Brighton, my home is adjacent to Cowan High School, not far. We walked down, getting out of school, but it was chaos. It was chaotic. It was chaotic.
On the 18th.
On the 18th, it was chaotic. Chaotic on the 18th. There were, you know, syringes. We heard that there was shooting and all that stuff. Unbeknown to us, that some girls were going home. Nomvume stayed at Red Location.
Okay.
A Red Location is about a kilometer away from Cowan High School. Let's put it that way. And then she was with other girls and everybody else. And I'm closest, maybe 800 meters where I stayed. We were walking towards my school, and then I had these girls.
Were you going towards or from?
I was going to, I was from school, going home.
Okay, okay.
But going home in a chaotic environment, because everything was haphazard. Everybody was going this way and going that way and going that, because these vans, these young boys, cadets or soldiers, they were shooting. Everybody, the principal said, go home, go home, go home. Things are ungovernable, there's danger. So they were walking, because there's no way else, you couldn't sleep at school.
Of course.
All of these kids eventually they have to go home. They were going home, you know, they were going home. All of us were going home. And before I was about to get into my mom's place, I saw another guy there who was lying, and I think he was still drinking that whiskey he got from the bottle store. And people were screaming, boys, they were afraid this guy could be shot. And then when I lifted him, I just dropped him over the fence of another house. And then I went back home. It was hardly a few minutes thereafter, and they started screaming. There were screams all over. They were calling for my name. And then I said, what? He said, Nomvume has been shot.
Whoa.
Nomvume has been shot. Zola, Nomvume has been shot.
Where exactly now?
This is my home. This is a street, Mfunde. The corner there, that's where she was shot. These boys, they came from Mandy down, Mandy, going up, and Nomvume with other girls were rushing home, taking Elimba Street towards Avenue A, Red Location and Avenue A. And they turned back when they saw this van these army vans and these boys brandishing guns,
Vultures,
lethal weapons, and with live ammunition. And then uNomvume with other girls, they rush into this home.
Bawuzola, roughly how old was Nomvume
I would say Nomvume was about
during this time?
maybe about 17. She was about 17, if not 16, somewhere there.
Okay.
A beautiful girl, a tall girl with a structure, and she was a queen of the majorettes.
Wow.
She has had a structure.
Very active.
Very active, yeah, wearing boots and you know those majorettes.
Yes.
Very prune and proper, beautiful girl. You know.
Sorry for taking you off your story. You were saying now you have been called, Nomvume has been shot. Yes.
And then I ran across the road to where the cries were. You know, I ran. I got inside that gate. That van was no more. And then I got inside the gate. I went around the house at Mendi. It's a corner house. I went around the house. There she was, crunched next to the tap, uNomvume. And she was, you know, moaning with pain, grimacing and all that stuff. And then said, okay. Next to me was Andile Hopper, may his soul rest in peace, has since passed on. Said, Andile, let's take her to Livingstone Hospital, come hell or high water. We have to rescue her. I saw what I saw on her waist. There was something green here. I think she might have been shot here on the side, on her kidneys or something like that. And then what happened was, she was shot by somebody who came. Our gates were made, the wooden gates.
Yes.
This guy came, and then she was the last one to get inside this house. They forced themselves into this house, these girls, and then she was the last one. She was shot because she was the last one. Last one, because everybody was screaming, getting into anybody's house. And then she collapsed on that side of the tap, and then we lifted her. And then I saw a truck that was driven in Mendi, close to us. This guy also was horrified, was just driving this old man. I stopped him. I took a break. I said, stop. And then he stopped. I said, Tata, you have to take us to Livingstone. Hell was it was just chaotic. It was chaotic. People were crying.
And she was still alive that time.
She was still alive. She was crying, and then I got inside. Andile brought her to me. She sat on my lap. And the van, it was a grocery van. It had what we call it, cake flour or bread flour all over. It was blood and also this cake flour and everything else. She sat on my lap, and then Andile kept on hitting this old man. Don't stop, go.
Wow.
And then we drove with this old man, thanks to him. His name was Sunlight. They call him Sunlight because he was also from the red location. And then we got to Livingstone Hospital. When we arrived at Livingstone, lo and behold, there were soldiers and police and everybody at the hospital, waiting for those who have been shot.
Wow.
And then uNomvume and we had to disembark. They said, get out. But before, at the gate there, I saw, man, she's no more. I said, Andile, she's no more. Hey, we started crying and getting angry, agitated. We're going to be arrested also. And I had blood all over.
Wow.
I don't want to describe, that was the kind of blood that came from every part of her body.
Wow.
And we took her out, and there were also nurses that came.
By the gate.
When the police wanted to arrest us, the nurses, they took their white dresses and put them under their panties and said, you dare arrest them.
Wow.
Because you can see they've come.
They were assisting.
They come for assistance to us. We were ushered into the casualty.
Of the
at Livingstone Hospital casualty were put there, and then a doctor came, certified her dead.
Whoa.
Nomvume. We walked from Thierry Hetting. We walked from Livingston Hospital, me and him, with all the chaos that was happening.
You walked?
By the grace of God, we walked from there.
From Costin
back.
New Brighton.
We didn't have any transport. It was just police all over. We walked. We just
covered.
I was in blood all
yeah.
over. We went back to Costin, to New Brighton. You know, the biggest surprise that we got, Frank Tonjeni was there. Everybody was there. Yes. Everybody was waiting for the word. Open we said she was no more. We walked from Funde, which is my street, where she was shot, and everybody now. It was a little bit calmer. And then we walked from there. Principal Tonjeni led us with other people. There was another guy called Ujanki, and he showed us Nomvume's home. You know, what struck me most and still pains me, and is to see a washing line, the preparation for tomorrow. Her uniform was hung, was there, drying up. The uniform she was going to wear the following day. The mother was there, and you know what happened thereafter.
The tomorrow that never came.
Tomorrow never came, and then there was a sort of a prayer, a big service, a sort of people praying.
We had to break the news to the parents.
That was our principal, Utonjeni, and then started praying, broke the door. The family was in disarray. There was crying. There was unbelievable, you know, why, who did that? You know, we couldn't explain, because these boys were faceless,
of course,
and they were trigger happy, and they were mean, brutal, and selfish. They wanted to do what they wanted to do, told to do. They did it, and even today, there's no one who can attest and say that I shot Nomvume. Maybe that guy is the father today or has since passed on, but they shot her dead. And then it was a funeral, we buried her, and all that stuff. That's a story. But the painful part is that Nomvume, I wouldn't say she's the only one who was shot on that day. Many, after we came at that casualty, as we were moving with Andy, the bodies came in at Livingston Hospital. Dead people, others injured, and everybody else were, you know. Some of them who were injured, after being, you know, looked after, they were taken by the police, put inside and incarcerated. So it's a story that's not told. It's a story that's not given more or less the respect it deserves and the opportunity, because Nomvume was innocent. Nomvume was part of a race that was thought of as being riotous and dangerous, and that was not cared by the authority. A school child, you can't kill a teenager for no apparent reason, and because those were school kids. Nomvume was in her uniform, not that she was wearing a tracksuit or anything else.
We were just an open shooting range. Them.
And then thereafter, it was death after death, killing after killing.
But probably this is going to be very personal. You're right, which was very painful, from New Brighton to Livingstone. She was right here in your lab.
Yeah.
Was she trying to say something during that time? Do you recall of anything that she might have said? At least that would be just about the only thing that we can hang on. And maybe if there's to be a memorial site, that might be inscribed in the memorial. We know what Solomon Mahlangu said when he was taking those last 52 steps. We know what Ubaumini said when he was taking the same stairs, or what he did. Now, is there anything you can recall? Maybe what she was trying to say?
It's just the painful cry from her mouth, you know, she could, you know, the pain, the shock might have muted her. You know, when you get shot and then no words come out of you except the groaning and then the moaning, yeah, you know, and all that stuff. That's all what happened. That's when I realized when we got into the gates at Livingston Hospital, when she kept quiet thereafter.
Wow.
She didn't say anything. It's us, me and Andile, Nomvume, don't give up, Nomvume, you're going to be fine, Nomvume, Nomvume, wake up, Nomvume, you're going to be fine.
I'm so sorry for
and all that kind of thing, you know,
yeah.
and that's a painful no. It's not a noise. Actually, it's a realization that she didn't understand why. She was running because everybody was running. Running from where? From the enemy, from the people who were shooting other people. And she was not stealing from anybody. She was not breaking into anyone's house. You know.
So sorry for taking you there, Bawuzola. It must be a very, very painful journey to get there, but it must be told.
Yes.
You see, Bawuzola, you mentioned something which is the truth. It is to tell the truth when you said probably she was not the only one who got shot that day and probably died.
Yeah.
Just like with Tsietsi, or in fact Hector Peterson.
Hector, yes.
Hector Peterson, he was not the only youngster who did not go back home that night or that day. Several people were shot and killed. But you see, South Africa has decided to elevate Hector to be the symbol of the thousands who were shot in and around Soweto during that period. Several of them were killed. But when we reflect on that fateful day, we think of Hector Peterson and Buyisa Makhubo. And you played that role. You played that role. People say you are our Makhubo in Gqeberha.
Yes.
And it's not an accolade that we are taking it light. You were there. You were not her father, but we're trying to save her.
We tried.
You're trying to save her.
Right.
You were there to pick her up from where she laid and you took her to the hospital. That must be reflected somewhere. There's a proverb, Bawuzola, and they're saying it's from Madagascar. It says, if you sell your drum, you better sell it in your village because you get to keep the money and to hear the sound as well. Now, when these Boers were doing what they did, they were doing nothing else but what is called cultural imperialism. To take away our culture, to take away our language, and impose theirs. Today we have countries in Africa. Our neighbor here, Mozambique, if you go there, everybody, they speak Portuguese as their first language.
It's true.
Some cannot even articulate in their indigenous language. For instance, it's like having someone from Gqeberha who's unable to speak isiXhosa, someone from KZN who's unable to speak in isiZulu, Free State in Sesotho, because a particular foreign language was imposed.
Yes.
Even akabathi bayazibonga, bazibonga nge-Afrikaans. Xa befundiswa isiXhosa basifundiswa nge-Afrikaans. Their thought process bayenza ucinga nge-Afrikaans. Ngiyakhumbula man, you see, if you have been taught in your language, that thing stays.
It does.
I remember around the same period, I think I was doing Form 1 or Form 2, 76. Now, we had very good teachers who embraced their language. They used to teach us English in Xhosa. Spelling, English in Xhosa. But now what did? Xa nibhala quickly, quickly today. You wake me up whatever time and ask me to write quickly.
Yeah.
When they were teaching you vowels.
Yeah.
But amagama anjenge vowels go a, e, o, u. You will never forget that.
Yeah.
So this is what they were trying to do, to challenge the imposition of the language.
Yeah.
Now Bawuzola, what is happening today to preserve this history? When I invoke that proverb, if it does not find expression in the history books of our children, if our children, Eloyiso, Ekawen, do not read it from their textbooks, a history,
never find it.
Once upon a time, there was Nomvume who was shot. It will, in few generations down the way, no one will talk about Nomvume. So what are we doing to make sure that this does not escape our minds?
Sadly, I think the first interview I had to narrate a story was for the Red Location museum people. Unfortunately, most probably that archive or that interview subsequently was destroyed. And there was nothing, there's no literature, there's no history about her. And even on the 18th of August, when she passed on, you can go to any radio station, to any newsroom, nobody sends anyone to find out who Nomvume was and what she stood for. And her blood, the blood that was spilled, you know, is the one today that made us to be where we are today. It laid the foundation, it became a fertile platform for us to be a liberated country. We dare not. History will judge us harshly if we fail to recognize, you know, what she died for. Sadly, her mother, I think she moved to Alice, and also she was asking herself questions, you know, and she's got questions that nobody could answer. Did my child die in vain? There's, you know, when you struggle, you don't struggle for statues and all that stuff. You have a bigger kind of objective, and it becomes the people that honor you, that give you that status. I think she deserves a better, you know, status than the one she's been given. Nobody talks about her in any particular platform, whether in church or in social platforms or in school platforms or in curricula. Nothing about her. That's the saddest part about Nomvume. She's the first here in the Eastern Cape to be shot dead.
Wow.
I can attest to that. She's the first student, especially a girl. And this is Women's Month, and I think nobody, even all these, she was not an ideological monolith. She didn't, those days it was difficult for you to follow a certain ideology except, you know, being part of the system. You know, and I thought maybe even the women, all these formations, all these parties, should be given, you know, when they chant.
Some kind of recognition.
Yeah, when they chant everything, anybody's name, you'll never hear them chanting Nomvume's name.
Bonake Bawuzola, you've done so much already. Don't give up. Between now and August, something must give. We must see the movement. There are people, there are foundations here. They're starting to sing about her. They're mentioning her name. One of those foundations is Amaqhawe Ethu. Bendizawucela, as we conclude the program, what needs to happen between now and August? You must find one another, Bawuzola. Carry this cross. Make sure that igama lelizizikazi because bendiva kuthiwa bingumadlamini
Yes.
jama usijada ufakathi unxowe noboya.
Yes.
Yabona ke when we invoke and when we call this, we're acknowledging to those that came before her that her blood was not in vain. We are making a very serious promise now, Bawuzola.
Yes.
Going forward, let's see an effort to build monuments for uNomvume. Let's see a statue on behalf of, let's see a foundation being established. Do you commit that you can do something towards that, naturally working with some of the people that will raise their hands in this direction?
I put my hand up.
Thank you, Bawuzola. From this interview, we are going to talk Madala side, and we try and establish people who are going to help us in making sure that igama likaNomvume Nyazi is not going to be one of those many who were killed doing bad things. She is our heroine.
Absolutely.
We will do that. As we conclude, Bawuzola, just a final parting note. As you do that, you can look in that camera and tell the premier and tell whoever, the president, that this is what we are doing and we want to do it with you.
Mine is a simple one. I'm not a nefarious individual. I always have this cry inside. You know, when we grew up and then we did a lot of things and we're laying the foundation for the leadership to do well and all lead us well. But when you find out the leadership forgets where we come from, it becomes an indictment, and we struggle for answers because people start asking us what is happening. You know, there's a play by Gibson Kente. It had the title, How Long? How long must we knock at your door so that you can answer us? You know, there are so many of us who was looking for answers, and we had high hopes that certain things will happen the way, not tailor-made for any particular individual or nation or whoever, but we want people to do the right thing. You know, I normally say to people, the book that I read by J.C. Matthews, he says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. All what I want a caring leadership, you know, a caring, empathic leadership that sympathizes and also that takes the right decision. A clever man knows all roads, but the wise person knows just one road, the right road. Just go the right road so that all of us, you cannot please everybody, but the bottom line is do the right thing. So that we don't come back and say, you had been given an opportunity to lead us and you have failed us. Listen, there's something behind failure. It's history that will judge you if you have failed us.
Wow. On that note, dear viewers, we've come to the end of our program. But before we do that, it is very prudent that we say this for the second time. Ubawuzola, Impuma Kapa TV, Amaqhawe Ethu Foundation are not bashing our leaders. We are saying we will do our part to be that bee that will oscillate in your ears to remind you of the things that we believe you have overlooked. As I leave you, I'm saying you must be ashamed to die without gifting your community something. We believe Nomvume did exactly that. On that note, I'm yours, Lennox Class, saying, until we meet again next week when we bring you yet another exciting program, it's good night from me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bawuzola.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sabule.